everyone. I'm going to do a quick video on how I get my rust effects on scenery. I'm going to do it on some of these Realm of Battle tiles. So I had a crack at making this last week, but I shook the tin and fucking threw paint everywhere. So that was a bust. So here we are again. The stuff that I use is this stuff. It is Dual Lux Rust Effect paint. It's from the hardware store. You can get it here at Bunnings. It's about 70 bucks for, what is it, 500 mils? Something like that. 500 mils. This will do loads. I've had this for a couple of years. I use it for everything, and it's tons left. So it's 2 steps. First step is this one. Second step is this one. It's like a very mineral, metallic rich paint. So it's got loads of metal, I don't know, shit in it. It's not important to know the chemical structure of the paint. It works really well. It's really easy to use. And this will do heaps and heaps. I don't know, it's the square meter coverage, but it's designed for walls and for, interior designer types to make stuff look rusty. And it generates actual real rust at the end of the day. So very important, obviously, with this stuff, to make sure the lid is closed, not like I did last week. Make sure the lid's closed and give it a really good shake. I'm doing it outside because I've got loads of, I've cut up these boards into loads of different sections. So I've put down some cardboard on the table out here, and I'm just going to do it out here. There's not really any fumes. I'm just doing it out here because it's a lot of stuff and there's not much room in my garage at the moment to do this. So yeah, give it a fucking good shake. And then the brush that we're going to use is just a cheap, crappy brush from the art shop. Soft bristles are important. You can't have the plasticky ones from the hardware store. The really cheap ones, you can't have those. I'll add that I have primed that with this plastic with this stuff, 2 times primer. That's an Australian product. I don't know if you can get that anywhere else, but it's it's just a flat, off the shelf primer. I always use grey on terrain. I don't know why, I just do. So you can see that stuff. It's sort of a satiny looking black colour. Really, it couldn't be simpler. All we're going to do is we're going to put some straight onto the brush, and then all you do is you just gloop it on, nice and thick. Really easy. So what we're going to do, we're going to chuck a coat of this on, and then you can wait 12 hours, 10 hours, whatever, and then put another coat on. I'll probably wait until tomorrow sometime and do another coat then, because I won't get a chance in 10 hours. Yeah, so you're going to put 2 nice thick gloopy coats on, and then you're going to come back and put a coat of the solution on, and then wait another 10-12 hours and put another coat of the solution on, and then you'll end up with a nice big rusty whatever it is that you're painting. I don't know if you can hear that, but my daughter is supposed to be asleep and she is not, and she wants dad. So this portion of the video is now over. All right, we're back. Second coat, it's going to be pretty much the same as the first, except you'll be wearing different clothes. I hope you are. Anyway, filthy animals. Give her a shake. It just washes up in water, this stuff anyway, so yeah. And gloop it on. Just messy. It does absorb some of the details at this sort of thickness, which is fine for terrain. If you want to use this on something more detailed, like on an actual model or on anything where you don't want to clog the details, use a smaller brush and just do it very carefully. For what I'm using it for, especially for ground pieces like this, it's perfect. It's perfect just as it is. Righto.
Okay, so you can see your first coat looks like this. See how it's sort of patchy, you can see through it in areas. And after the second coat, it's a solid colour. That's what you're looking for. You want your second coat to finish up looking like this. If it's not, then just add more. And you can see, look, that's glooped on, but it sort of thins into the details almost. So it's not it's not obscuring too much detail, and it is really quick to put on like this. So there you go. That's after your second coat.
All right, next part of the video, we're going to put the, we've got 2 coats on this. We're going to put the rust solution on. Not sure what it's made of. Some sort of, oh, here we go. It contains 10% ammonium chloride, 10% copper sulfate, and some pentahydrate. Causes skin irritation and serious eye irritation. Got safety goggles on because the death ray's out anyway. So you need the safety goggles. Yeah, so we're going to put some of this into our little container here. You can see it's just going a little bit there into the container. That's probably going to be more than we need, so I will then get rid of some of that. Again, same crappy old brush. And what we're going to do is, again, pretty straightforward. You just get some of this, dip it in the science juice, and yeah, you just put it on. So this will react with all the iron and the minerals and whatever's in the paint. Paint, interestingly, doesn't tell you what's in it, but this stuff does tell you what's in it. So this will react with that. You'll start to see it after about, I don't know, sometimes it starts quite quickly, like after a couple of hours. Sometimes it takes 10 hours for it to do stuff. But you'll see it in the next part of the video. I'll show you yeah, what it looks like after 10 hours, 12 hours, something like that. Tomorrow anyway. You can tell that it's tomorrow because I'll be wearing different clothes. There we go, look at that, just a little bit of stuff there, a little bit of stuff. So yeah, really simple, really straightforward. This will look really cool in a couple of days. Take it easy.
All right, so this has been on for about an hour and a half now, so you can see we're starting to get some rust forming, and that's quite quick. So where it's all black, that'll all go rusty tomorrow, but quite light, not thick. You can see in some areas it's still wet even. Yeah, so it's starting to form now. It looks pretty cool, huh? So this time tomorrow it'll look more rusty again, and then we'll chuck another coat on. All right, this is what it looks like after about 24 hours later. And you can see in some areas it's a really deep rusty colour with this sort of verdigris going on. There's quite a bit of variation at this stage after just the first coat. So I'm going to chuck the second coat on now, which will just basically just be painting it on with a brush. And we'll have a look again in probably another 24 hours or so. All right. Okay, so we're now about 2.5 hours from the second application of the rust solution, and you can see in some areas you get different effects. I think it's to do with how many minerals or whatever are in the paint in different areas maybe, but you get these random effects, and it's why this stuff is so good. You just can't, you could replicate that by yourself, but it wouldn't be as random as it is. It's the reason this stuff looks good is because it is real, genuine, actual rust. It's real, genuine corrosion. And you can see across the whole thing, it's still wet, but it's still, you know, it's still going to be taking effect for another 12, 14, up to 24 hours. But you can see what it's done. Yeah, that's why it's so good, this stuff. Anyway, yeah, I think it's fucking cool. All right, so here we are. This is the final part of the video. you can see this is the effect that you will receive at the end. So this is after the 2 coats that I've showed you of the paint, and then 2 coats of the solution. So the paint, I did 1 coat, I waited 24 hours, I did another coat, then I probably waited another 24, 40, 36 hours, did the first coat of the solution, which started at rusting. At that, you can, with the solution, you can spray it, and that'll give a different effect. Spray it with water while it's drying, that'll give a different effect. I haven't done that here. This is just purely as it comes out of the tin. Yeah, ready to use like this. You can see some areas have remained black. Again, it's a pretty random process, which is what I think makes it look good. Yeah, so I then put, after another 24 hours, I then put the second coat on. It's super simple, and look, if you don't follow that recipe in like perfectly, you'll still get a pretty good result. You might get something that's better. You might get something that's a bit more unpredictable. Who knows? Experiment with it. You can't really go wrong. Although I would say, if you do fuck it up, basically the only thing you can do is to put more of the metal paint on and more of the solution on and do it again. You repriming this isn't going to work. You can't prime this again. You can't start again from scratch and decide, oh, you know what? I don't want it rusty. I want to paint it green or red or whatever. It's not going to work. But pretty awesome. So what I'm going to do next, and I won't put that in this video, but I will now do a rust wash on this. Not a rust wash, sorry, a dust wash. So I'll put some pigment wash in this, just into some of the recesses, just to sort of tie it in with the basing on my Alpha Legion, and sort of tie it in with the theme of the board, which you'll see in future videos. You can also add matte varnish to this, which will seal it. You can see that I've just touched that there. Let's see if we can get that to zoom in, and there's nothing on my finger, but a matte varnish definitely is not a bad idea after the end of it all. Yeah, so you can see the variety we've got. Yeah, I really love this stuff. Can't recommend it highly enough. It's super easy to do. Yeah, rock and roll. If you've got any questions, shoot them into the comments down below. Yeah, see you in the next one.